For all of you wearing those rose-tinted glasses, come on.
Whoa!
Now, we did know this for quite a long time, or at least we suspected it, but with lots of evidence backing up our suspicions, and that is that George R.R. Martin is not going to ever really get around to finishing the Game of Thrones book series. This isn't actual news, but this geriatric ham hock has finally just kind of laughed it off to everyone because that's what he can do now. He's a fat, old, rich man at the end of his life. I don't see how he's actually like lasted this long, and not especially with his health issues. Now, this article is a little bit tongue in cheek, and it makes me laugh from Den of Geek. It says George R. R. Martin begins to accept the inevitable about the Winds of Winter. I mean, I'm prepared for the cold. I'm wearing a hoodie and everything. I'm still wearing my rose tinted glasses. Not really prepared for Winds of Winter because winter ain't coming, even though that was the whole tagline for the whole show. There's one part that I do want to go through before I like skip ahead to the part that I actually want to talk about. So I kind of like the way that this person sets up the stage. So for most novelists, writing is a solitary activity. That is unfortunately no longer the case for legendary fantasy author George R. R. Martin. You can be a legend in your time, but you can also be a flash in the pan, and I think that's what George R. R. Martin is becoming. It was a flash in the pan, and we will talk about that later. Don't worry about that. So ever since the creator of A Song of Ice and Fire, and that series became the epic franchise from HBO, Game of Thrones, that started out great, ended horribly. His writing of the 6 books, Wind of Winter, has become more of a group effort. While Martin is technically alone, as he sits down his ancient DOS computer to write, the specter of an impatient fan base lingers behind his back, urging him to finish the novel that is now more than a decade. More than a decade. We're almost a decade and a half, Mother. It's 13 years. He's 13 years late. The world beyond that word processor is even more crowded because every time he emerges from his New Mexico homestead to give an interview about one of the many upcoming adaptations, he's inevitably confronted about it. Well, of course, because that's what really got his name solidified, not only within pop culture, but within fans and geekdom. So, of course, he's going to be asked about it. When are you going to finish everything that you promised? When are you going to deliver on the promises that you made to the fans? Don't start a story if you can't finish it, brother. So after he gives the usual dissatisfactory answer that's coming along, but slowly, everyone's pissed off. Rightfully so. So now we scroll down. Unfortunately, I'm 13 years late. I don't want to hear another thing out of his mouth. He can bloviate all he wants by, writing his prose and his speeches and everything that he does in the books because that's all character driven. His character is a fat, diabetic piece of garbage. He got his bag and he got the F out, and it's just nothing but excuses. I mean, he has all the money in the world to buy all the excuses that exist on this planet, but not the fans don't. And that's where Hollywood and George R. R. Martin are really screwing up for the okay, I could go way further into this, but I try to want to keep it simple. I want to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm going to get off of that. Every time I say that, I'm like, how could I be 13 years late? 13 years late for your latest prostate exam. 13 years late for your appointment with the gym. Yeah, I mean, that would make more sense to me than how am I 13 years late to finish writing this fucking book? Get out of here with that. I don't know. It happens a day at a time. You know what else happens a day at a time? Your cholesterol level. But that's still a priority. No. I almost said a bad word. This dude's a fucking liar. He's lying straight to people's faces. And the thing is that people still eat it up. We haven't for a long time. We've already known this. What speculation became to trend became to common circumstance, and now it is the truth because he's finally just admitting to it. Maybe they're right. All the people who have been saying this from the get-go, because you haven't really done anything with it. You let Dumb and Dumber finish off the cultural phenomenon that was HBO's Game of Thrones. You let them finish it off, and it ended with a whimper. Everyone was pissed off at the ending. Now, could they have done better? Yeah, but they suck at writing. They also suck at showrunning. Guess they kind of forgot. But then he tries to parse his words as well. Okay, well, maybe they're right is a far way away from they're definitely right. Dude, oh gosh, let's just finish this quote because I'm starting to get a little bit angry about it. Still devoted Martinologist. Oh, this is killing me, especially because he tries to invoke Professor Tolkien's name when he talks about his writing. Don't you dare, brother. Don't you dare. Have clocked that this is the first time Martin has spoken so frankly about even the mere possibility. In doing so, the Game of Thrones creator is coming to a conclusion that his fans have already reached long ago. So there, in a nutshell, lies what we've all been saying for a long time, what we've all have surmised for a long time. This shit ain't ever coming out. We kind of knew it. We hoped slightly, like that little thread that you hold on to, like that little teddy bear that you cuddle at night. Maybe it will provide some comfort if I keep that hope alive. Maybe our hope and our outspokenness on how much we want it will provide that. But nah, he's done. He's done. It's been 13 years. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to what was the most promising epic story of our generations, multiple generations, because I mean, not only did it last so long, but it encapsulated. I mean, it enraptured. If I can get the word right, it enraptured so many people across the globe, especially across the U.S. I remember going to watch parties when I lived in Denver in bars, and they would have certain rooms free to enter and everything like that. But there would be giant watch parties everywhere whenever a new episode dropped. It used to be the thing on everyone's lips. And he's just letting it die. So, with that, fucking Dracarys. Dracarys George R. Martin's ass. I am fucking done with this dude. This will be the last time I talk about him. But this fat piece of lard, this Boston butt. All right. I'm not mad at y'all. This is Malta from the GCA. We will see y'all later. And if you have any comments about this, feel free to roast that motherfucker in the comments. Take care.